Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that'll make you question your family forever. Story 1. Sister wants my tattoo wife's initials on her body. So my mom just asked if she could tattoo my wife's initials on her body, and I'm honestly freaking out about it. Let me explain this weird situation. My wife and I have been married for 10 months now, but we've been super close friends since 2011. My parents absolutely love her, which is amazing, and they've been incredibly welcoming the entire time we've known each other. 2 years ago, my mom got this really sweet bracelet tattoo with space for everyone's initials in our family. You know, her, dad, my sibling, and me. She even included extra space in the design for future partners that me and my sibling might have. It was actually really thoughtful. Earlier this week, my mom asked us what the first letter of my wife's name was because she wanted to add it to her tattoo. At first, I thought it was kind of sweet, but then it started feeling really weird to me. I mean, we've only been married for 10 months. What if something happens and we get divorced? Then my mom would have my ex-wife's initials permanently tattooed on her body forever. That would be incredibly awkward for everyone involved. I told my mom that I appreciated the gesture, but I'd really prefer if she waited a bit longer before adding my wife's initials to her tattoo. Maybe give it a few more years to make sure our marriage is rock solid. My mom got pretty upset and said I was being ridiculous. She pointed out that she's known my wife for over a decade and considers her family regardless of our marriage status. She said the tattoo represents the people she loves, not just legal relationships. My wife is staying neutral in this whole thing, which I appreciate, but she did mention that she finds it a bit overwhelming too. My dad thinks I'm overthinking it and says I should just let mom do what makes her happy. My sibling thinks it's weird that I'm trying to control what mom does with her own body. But here's the thing, I'm not trying to control her. I'm just asking her to wait a little bit longer. Is that really so unreasonable? I keep thinking about all the ways this could go wrong. What if we have a huge fight and don't talk for years? What if, God forbid, something terrible happens? I just think permanent decisions should be made carefully. Am I being totally paranoid here, or is this actually a legitimate concern to have? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. Grandma goes missing right before babysitting duty. So I just disappeared on my grandchildren, and my kids are absolutely losing their minds over it. I'm 45 years old, and I had my children pretty young. I was a stay-at-home mom my entire life, dedicating everything to raising my kids. When they finally finished college, I thought I was going to get my life back. You know, maybe go on some romantic vacations with my husband, just the two of us, finally have some me time. But nope, life had other plans. Soon after, all 3 of my kids got engaged and started popping out babies left and right. Don't get me wrong here, I absolutely love my grandchildren to pieces, but I'm completely exhausted. I've been taking care of children for over 20 years straight, and I desperately wanted just a tiny break. When my eldest son first asked me to watch his kids for the day, I didn't mind at all. It seemed reasonable, and I wanted to help. But then it became a regular thing. Then my other kids started asking too. Before I knew it, I was babysitting almost every single day again. It's like being a full-time mom all over again, except now I'm older and way more tired. I tried talking to my kids about it multiple times. I explained that I needed some boundaries and maybe we could work out a schedule where I wasn't the automatic go-to babysitter for everything. They'd nod and agree, but then the next day someone would call with an emergency or last-minute plans. I started feeling like I was being taken advantage of, and honestly, a little resentful. Last week, my son called me Friday night asking if I could watch his 2 kids all weekend because he and his wife wanted to go to some music festival. I had actually made plans with my husband to go wine tasting, our first real date in months. When I told him I wasn't available, he got really upset and said I was being selfish. That was my breaking point. I turned off my phone and my husband and I went away for the entire weekend without telling anyone where we were going. We had an amazing time, just the two of us, like the old days. When we got back Sunday night, I had dozens of angry messages. My kids were furious that I just vanished without helping them figure out childcare. They said I was irresponsible and that they were counting on me. My daughter even said I was a bad grandmother for abandoning my grandchildren. But here's what I don't understand: when did I become the only option for childcare? They managed just fine before I was always available. Am I really being selfish for wanting some time for myself after decades of constant childcare? Story 3. Sister excludes me from Bachelorette then expects wedding attendance. So my sister is getting married, and I just purposely missed her wedding after she completely excluded me from her Bachelorette party. Let me tell you what happened because this whole situation is absolutely insane. 3 months ago, my sister had her Bachelorette party. Now, here's the kicker: I found out about it through Instagram stories posted by her friends. Not a phone call, not a text, not even a casual mention. I literally discovered my own sister's Bachelorette party by scrolling through social media like some random stranger. I was completely blindsided and honestly really hurt. When I confronted her about it and asked why I wasn't invited, her response was absolutely unbelievable. She said she didn't think I would be interested. Didn't think I'd be interested in celebrating my own sister's upcoming wedding? What kind of logic is that? I mean, regardless of whether she thought I'd want to come or not, shouldn't the bride's sister automatically get an invitation? That's like basic family etiquette, right? I felt so excluded and disrespected that I decided I wouldn't attend her wedding either. When she sent me the wedding invitation, I replied that I couldn't make it and cited a scheduling conflict. I figured if she could exclude me from pre-wedding celebrations, then maybe my presence wasn't that important to her after all. Of course, she eventually found out that my scheduling conflict wasn't real. I guess I'm not great at lying, or maybe someone ratted me out. She called me absolutely screaming, saying I was ruining everything and being petty. She accused me of being vindictive and immature. But honestly, how is what I did any different from what she did to me? She excluded me first without any explanation or consideration for my feelings. Now my mom has gotten involved and she's saying I'm ruining the most important day of my sister's life. She thinks I should just suck it up, apologize, and show up to the wedding because family is family. But I keep thinking, if family is so important, then why did my sister treat me like I don't matter when it came to her Bachelorette party? I'm torn because part of me knows that missing someone's wedding is a really big deal, and I might regret this forever. But another part of me feels like I need to stand up for myself. She hurt me first, and her excuse was completely lame. Am I being totally petty here, or do I have a legitimate reason to be upset about this whole situation? Story 4. Concert plans fall apart due to zero communication. So I just bailed on a concert with my sister the day before we were supposed to go, and now everyone thinks I'm completely unreasonable. Let me explain this frustrating situation because I'm honestly questioning if I made the right choice here. I was supposed to go to this concert with my sister, her guy friend, and some random person I've never even met before. We've had these tickets for about 3 months, and there was even a group chat set up specifically for planning this whole thing. But here's where it gets absolutely ridiculous. For 3 entire months, there was basically zero communication about any of the actual logistics. I kept asking really basic questions like, when should we get there, are we taking an Uber, are we meeting up somewhere beforehand, normal planning stuff that adults usually figure out. Every time I brought up these questions, I either got vague responses or just complete silence from everyone else in the group chat. It was like pulling teeth trying to get any concrete information about our plans. The day before the concert, I was getting really anxious because we still had no solid plan. I didn't know how I was supposed to get there, when to leave my house, where we were meeting, nothing. So I sent another message in the group chat asking for clarification about our plans. Again, radio silence from everyone. At that point, I was getting pretty frustrated with the whole situation. I mean, we're all adults here, and this is basic event planning. If you can't even coordinate simple logistics for something you've had 3 months to plan, then maybe you're not ready to go out together as a group. I decided that I didn't want to deal with the stress and uncertainty anymore, so I bailed on the concert. I sent a message to the group explaining that since we couldn't seem to coordinate basic plans, I was going to skip it. My sister immediately got upset and said I was being dramatic and unreasonable. She claimed that we could have just figured it out the day of the concert. But honestly, that's not how I like to operate. I prefer having a plan, especially when it involves spending money and time on something special like a concert. The guy friend said I was being inflexible and that spontaneity makes things more fun. But there's a difference between being spontaneous and just being completely disorganized. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted to the whole situation. Maybe I should have just gone with the flow and figured things out last minute like everyone else seemed comfortable doing. Is wanting basic communication and planning really too much to ask for when you're coordinating group activities? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.